If I could give you a book recommendation, I'd invite you to consider Destroyer of the Gods by Larry Hurtado. I know it's not likely to make Oprah's book club, but I found it particularly helpful. Now, in the book, Hurtado highlights several features that made early Christianity distinctive in the Roman world, features many of us simply take for granted. Reflecting on these differences isn't just historically interesting, it helps us to consider how Christianity might distinguish itself in our own modern world. One of the more surprising features Hurtado identifies is what he calls the bookish nature of Christianity. As he notes, many people today assume sacred texts are central to every religion. But historically, that isn't actually the case. Christianity has always been a distinctively book-centered faith. Some of that comes from Judaism, where Scripture already held a central place. But early Christians intensified that commitment even further. That observation struck me this week while reading Revelation. Last week we looked at the great white throne of judgment. In Revelation 20, verse 12, we read, "And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne. And the books were opened. Another book was opened, which is the book of life. The dead were judged according to what they had done as recorded in the books." Now, the scene draws on Daniel's vision of the Ancient of Days in Daniel 7, where the court was seated and the books were open. It's a picture of the final judgment. The imagery suggests that every life is recorded, every word, thought, and action laid open before God. But in Revelation, something new appears. John tells us that another book is open. Not just the book of deeds, the book of life. Jesus refers to this same book in the letter to Sardis in chapter 3. The one who is victorious will, like them, be dressed in white. I will never blot out the name of that person from the book of life, but will acknowledge that name before my Father and his angels. The book is mentioned again in chapters 13 and 17. Now, the message is sobering. One day, every person, great and small, will stand before the throne. The books will be open, and nothing will remain hidden. Every word, every thought, every action. And if our hope rested on those books alone, none of us could stand, not one. But Revelation also tells us something profoundly hopeful. There is another book. And this book does not record our actions, it records our names. Revelation 13 calls it the book of life, belonging to the Lamb who was slain. It means in the end, our hope does not rest on the record of our lives. It rests on whether our name was written in his book. And that book belongs to the Lamb who gave his life for us. So today, remember, your hope is not the record of your life, but the grace of the Lamb whose book holds your name.